What's up, everybody? I'm Whoopin' Long COVID. Today I'm uncorking a magnum of whoop-ass on dysautonomia. And I would say that this is probably something that most, if not all, sufferers of long COVID or long haulers experience dysautonomia to some degree, some more than others. So essentially what's going on is your brain is a giant computer. It's the most, powerful and elaborate computer known to man, but it's still a computer nonetheless, and it's running these programs all the time. Some of these programs are conscious. So if I want to raise my arm, I tell my brain, raise my arm raises. Some are unconscious. Like, I don't need to tell my body to breathe. I don't need to tell my body to sweat. I don't need to tell my amygdala to be constantly scanning the environment looking for threats. I don't need to do this. It just manages it unconsciously. And the brain is primarily concerned, actually it's hyper laser focused on two things. One, first and foremost, is survival, and two is reproduction. Everything else is ancillary to those two driving forces. And so the autonomic system manages a lot of the things that keep you alive. You don't have to do anything to it. Now, when you have long COVID, your autonomic nervous system is compromised. And so it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. And so you'll get a lot of different manifestations. For example, your blood pressure will be all over the place. Your heart rate will race. You'll get brain fog or fatigue or dizziness, or you'll get vision loss. My vision was fine 2 years ago. Now I can't see near or far. You get exertional fatigue. I think I mentioned the other day I tried to do yoga and I made it 4 minutes before I had to tap out. So there's a lot of ways in which an autonomic compromise can fuck up your day-to-day life. Now, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of A, managing symptoms, or B, more importantly, trying to find the root cause and fix it, the root cause here is harder to figure out. We have theories. One of the theories is that the virus actually attacks the autonomic system itself. One theory is that the virus impacts your nerve fibers, and that's what's carrying signals to the brain. So the brain's doing what it's supposed to do, but it's getting jumbled signals, which is different than the brain not doing what it's supposed to do. We don't really know. There's another theory that says it's a result of constant inflammation, persistent inflammation, that then is causing the downside. So for me, I'm not trying to solve for the autonomic system issue. I'm trying to do what I'm always doing, which is do things that reduce my overall viral load. But I do want to manage symptoms as best I can, because some of them can be pretty spectacular. Like the inability to regulate temperature. I have jackets and blankets in every room of my house. So I'm constantly putting them on and taking them off because I'm either freezing cold or boiling hot. And it changes every 15 minutes, so it's annoying. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is called POTS, P-O-T-S, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And it sounds fancy. It's not. You guys all know exactly what this is because you've all experienced it. And this is when you stand up too fast and you get lightheaded. And so the reason that occurs is when you stand up, gravity pulls blood into your legs. And when it does that, it pulls blood away from your brain and away from your torso where all your organs are. And so this can cause your heart rate to radically increase by up to maybe 30 beats a minute, because now all of a sudden it's trying to pump harder, it's trying to get blood out of the legs. It can cause you to get lightheaded because you don't have enough blood in your brain to make your brain work the way it's supposed to work. And this definitely happens to me. I get up all the time and I get dizzy. Sometimes I faint, sometimes I fall down. It pretty much sucks. Fainting is no fun, by the way. Like, it's pretty scary. So what I want to try to do is manage POTS. Now, your autonomic nervous system does this for you automatically. So normally what happens is when you stand up and the blood starts to rush to your legs from gravity, your brain responds by reducing the capillaries. And so it makes it harder for blood to flow in there, and it regulates it. And this is actually a big problem for stoners too, which I didn't know, but one of my buddies who's a big stoner, he has his own modality for this. When he stands up, if he's super high and he gets dizzy, he flexes every muscle in his leg as tightly as he can for like 60 seconds. And I think that prevents the blood from flowing down there. So this is nothing new. The main way that we want to combat POTS is through what's called compression therapy. And compression therapy essentially says we're going to squeeze the legs and push the blood back up. There's different ways to do this. Also, you can also combat this with salt. I'm already taking enough salt, I feel like, and so I don't want to take any more. You can take it with drugs. I'm already on enough drugs. I'm trying to take fewer drugs, and also then you have to worry about drug interactions, comorbidity factors, and so on and so forth, which I don't want to dick with. So I'm doing it through the compression method, which is squeeze your legs. Now, the cheapest and easiest method of doing that is to use compression socks. And these are these sort of knee-high, super tight socks that they recommend that you wear on long international flights to prevent deep vein thrombosis. They're cheap, they're easy, they don't require a lot of effort. You can wear them all day long if you want. You kind of look like a moron if you're wearing shorts, but whatever, who cares? So that's the easiest way to do it. The second way to do it is to use compression boots. And the main compression boots are these things that you pull on, and they go up to your waist. And what they do is they have different air pockets, and they're attached to a pump and a little computer brain. And what the computer brain does is it squeezes your foot, and then it squeezes your ankle, and then it squeezes your calf, and then it squeezes your knee. And then basically what it does is it's pushing all of the blood back up into your core. And it's doing so in a very kind of controlled and effective manner. Works great. Using compression boots has a couple of other interesting side benefits. One is that you are kind of massaging the muscles. And by the way, compression therapy has been around for forever. This is not a long COVID thing. I was using these compression boots years ago, back when I used to be able to do, long endurance-based foot races. You do a 20-mile run, you come home, your legs are shot, you slip into some boots, and it massages it out. Matter of fact, if you guys know who the Iron Cowboy is, this is the guy who set the world record for doing 50 Ironman triathlons in 50 states in 50 days, which sounds impossible. And no one believed he could do it, but he actually did it. And one of the things that he gave credit to was, he'd do an Ironman in New Mexico, and the next day he had to get to Texas. He'd climb in the RV, and he would sleep in the boots for like 12 hours and then get there and do the next one. And he was pretty open about, I probably couldn't have done it if I hadn't had these boots helping with recovery. So this is tried and true, and it's good. And then the last thing that it does is it engages the lymphatic system, and it increases lymphatic drainage, which that is of paramount importance to me, because your lymphatic system is responsible for the removal of toxins and dead cells and other things. And so when a bacteria or a virus gets into your body, your immune system then sends cells down to fight it. Ideally, it kills that virus cell, but then you have a dead virus cell or a dead bacteria cell just kind of floating around inside of you. We want to get it out. And so that's what the lymphatic system does. And you can tell, like, when you get sick, if you ever go to the doctor and the doctor like feels your neck like this, he's feeling your lymph nodes to see if they're swollen. And you get them in your armpits, and you'll get them in your groin area. And that's your lymphatic system's on overdrive, moving bad shit that's inside of you out of you. So that's a huge benefit as well. So I like the boots. The downside of the boots they're not inexpensive. I think an entry level pair is about $500, and you could probably spend up to like $800. So it's not unreasonable, but it's not nothing. So that's one thing. They're super easy to use. They're passive. It's very easy for me to sit down and watch television and then just slip on the boots and just let them run. So there's no real reason to not do it. Now, if you don't want to, spend the money, a lot of like performance labs or performance-based gyms or even physical therapy places will have them. I used the boots at my place for a while until I finally, bought my own. It's much easier to have your own. One downside is that once you zip in, like, you're kind of stuck for however long you're doing it for. So there's definitely been times where I get all set up, I get my water, because I like to pound water while I'm doing this. I believe that encourages drainage. And then the second I get all set up and ready to go and I turn the things on, then the UPS guy comes to the door and knocks it, then you're trying to scramble out of it. But that's really kind of the only downside. It can hurt a little bit. The boots that I have are made by Therabody, which I think somebody may have bought. I'm not sure if that company is still named Therabody or not. And it's got kind of 4 pressure settings: 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. I like doing it at 100%, but a lot of times it hurts, depending, particularly if I have like the skeleton on fire syndrome going on for me. It's a problem. So I usually start at 75%, and then if I'm handling it okay, I jack it up to 100. And then my thing, I can do 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, or forever. I usually try to do an hour. I feel like any amount of time is better than none, so I'll take what I can get. But I try to do an hour, and it's easy. And just to let you know, I've actually been doing it the whole time I've been filming this video. So if you can see, here I am in my Therabody boots. Right now they're fully inflated, and they're about to go to disinflate and then start pushing from the bottom again. Almost if like you're trying to get the last bit of toothpaste out of a tube, and so you're rolling it up from the bottom, then you'll unroll it and then you roll it up again. That's basically what's going on with this. So compression therapy, great way of combating POTS, and while it doesn't necessarily solve the dysautonomia problem, it at least helps with the drainage of toxins and other things out of your body. So check it out, and we'll keep whooping long COVID. Later, guys.